And in order to implement the idea of a generative adversarial network, I am going to use a data set, and the name of the data set is CIFAR10, and this is also a part of the Keras library. Okay. In the case of convolutional neural network and deep neural collection of images, but all the images are color images. And again, this is a 10 class problem. A number of different images are there, like images containing objects like car, then building, pedestrian, etc., etc. These types of images are there in CIFAR10. Okay. And in order to implement this functionality or implement this generative adversarial network, we need some libraries. As in the case of our deep neural network or convolutional neural network. The first one is the NumPy library. From NumPy, import expand dimensions. That is in order to expand the row-wise and column-wise dimensions. We need a functionality, and that functionality is actually supplied by NumPy. Then from NumPy, import zeros. Because actually that functionality is used for labeling process. NumPy import zeros, NumPy import ones, and these two statements are used for providing labels to the images. Then from NumPy random import random for generating random numbers. For generating random numbers, then integer random numbers we can make use of from NumPy.random import random int. From TensorFlow.keras.datasets, those CIFAR10 import load data, because CIFAR10 CIFAR10 is an experimental data set already available in Keras. And in order to work with that particular data set, we have to include this particular statement from TensorFlow.keras.datasets, CIFAR10 import load data for creating the training and test data set. Then from TensorFlow.keras.optimizers import Adam. From TensorFlow, there is an optimizer. From TensorFlow.keras.models import sequential. Already I mentioned about sequential data model. From TensorFlow.keras.layers import dense. Already mentioned the keyword dense there. Then from TensorFlow.keras.layers import reshape. Reshape to change the dimension of a particular data structure. From TensorFlow.keras.layers import flatten. Already mentioned. From TensorFlow.keras.layers import convolutional 2D convolution operation, 2D convolution, already mentioned. From TensorFlow.keras.layers import convolution 2D transpose. Okay, and this is actually the reverse of convolution 2D. And instead of this convolution 2D transpose, we can use upsampling 2D also. Upsampling 2D also, but comparing upsampling 2D and convolution 2D transpose, this convolution 2D transpose becomes more efficient, and this actually uses the techniques of some matrix operations to expand the features, Then from TensorFlow.keras.layers import leaky ReLU. This is another activation function and efficient activation function. And in the case of ReLU, the mathematical operation is max of 0, the intensity value. That means all the negative pixel intensities are removed in the case of ReLU. But here, in the case of leaky ReLU, some small negative values can also be considered for introducing the nonlinearity. That is, for introducing the nonlinearity, actually ReLU operation is used for introducing the nonlinearity, because minus to 0, and that provides the ability to give the nonlinearity nature of the classification, and 0 to max, and that provides the linear operation. So this is somewhat linear and somewhat non-linear. Anyway, LQ is considered as a non-linear operation. And here, in the case of ReLU, negative values are not considered. But in the case of leaky ReLU, we can provide some, or we can consider some negative values also for introducing the nonlinearity. Then from TensorFlow.keras.layers, import dropout. Dropout I already mentioned there. Then the first step of constructing a GAN is to define a discriminator network. Discriminator network. Well, here definition of a discriminator model. That is the first task. I just am going to use a user-defined function to generate a discriminator model. To define a generator model. So this is the syntax. Define DEF, define discriminator, and a parameter included in that discriminator function is shape of the input data, and shape is equal to 32, 32, 3, and here this parameter is actually an image. This represents an image, and 32 by 32 image. Now 28 by 28. In CIFAR10, all the images are of size 32 by 32, and 3, that is the depth information. Okay, that is a color image. And again, I am going to develop a neural network model. Model is equal to sequential is used. Model is equal to sequential. Then downsample. Downsample means we already mentioned in the convolution neural network regarding downsample. Model dot add. And what is before constructing the discriminator model, I just like to ask one question. And what is the role of this discriminator model? What is the role of this discriminator model? To distinguish whether this applied image is real or fake. So the input is an image, and that is the reason why we include in shape is equal to 32, 32, 3. That is the parameter. So an image is given to the discriminator, and from that discriminator, in order to decide whether the image is real or fake, as a first step of the process, we have to extract the features from that image. And for that we can make use of the convolution operation. Convolution 2D, 128 filters are used. All the filters are of size 3 by 3. Then stride, that is max pooling. Here I am going to use convolution, ReLU, and max pooling in a single statement. And it is also possible, right? A model dot add convolution 2D, 128, 3 by 3, stride is equal to 2 by 2, padding is equal to same, input shape is equal to in shape, and this is the input parameter. But here inside that first convolution operation, and this is the first convolution operation, we have to specify the input. Okay, and this statement is same as with the convolution, normal convolutional neural network convolutional layer. But here I just include all the 3 different phases. That is convolution plus ReLU plus the max pooling. All these 3 phases are combined together. Then model dot add leaky ReLU. But here I'm not mentioned the activation function, but instead of that ReLU activation function, I'm going to use leaky ReLU. So for that you just use this particular statement, model dot add leaky ReLU alpha is equal to 0.2, because in leaky ReLU we have to provide some parameter values. You just study about what are the parameters and what is the importance of these parameters, because we are actually running out of time. Leaky ReLU alpha is equal to 0.2. Okay, again next another convolutional layer, that is the downsampling layer. I am going to introduce in the discriminator model, and for that model dot add con 2D 128 3 by 3, strides is equal to 2 by 2, padding is equal to same. So this is the second convolutional layer. So there is no need of specifying the input there. Input is specified only in the first convolutional layer. Okay, but these are the 2 convolutional layers, and since max pooling is integrated with the convolutional layer, we can consider it as a downsampling operation. And with the help of these two statements, we can perform the first downsampling operation. With the help of these two statements, we can perform the second downsampling operation. Then, as a result of these two downsampling operations, we are actually generate some features from the input image. And these features are given to the deep neural network. And for that, model.add flatten. Okay, model.add dropout 0.4, some unwanted neurons we can eliminate from the classification operation. Then model.add dense 1, y1. And here this can be considered as a binary classification problem. Why it becomes binary classification problem? We are going to determine whether the input image is real or fake. These are the only two outcomes. And in order to take the decision, we actually generate a probability value. But here, dense, comma, activation is equal to sigmoid. And why we need the sigmoid activation function? And I think you are familiar with sigmoid activation function. And this is an S-type activation function. And the mathematical formula of that sigmoid activation function is 1 divided by 1 plus e raised to minus x. And the value returned by this sigmoid activation function changes from 0 to 1. That means a probability value is generated by the sigmoid activation function. That is the importance of the sigmoid activation function. That is in the output layer. In the output layer, we use sigmoid activation function. Then inside this, we can add any number of hidden layers. And here I just use all the features, and these features are directly given to the output layer. That is what is happening in this particular implementation. This is a very simple implementation. You can expand this particular implementation by adding more downsampling layers and by adding more hidden layers and so on. Okay, then after building the model, the next step is to compile that model. And for compiling, as a parameter, we have to supply the optimizer function. I just define an optimizer function, that is Adam, with parameters. And this is the learning rate and beta value. And these are two parameters. Again, we have to you have to refer. It is your responsibility to refer the importance of these parameters while developing a model like this. That is the optimizer function is Adam with some parameters. And if the parameters are not specified, some default values are actually taken by that optimizer function. And that is what is actually happening in our previous implementations. Then model.compile, and this discriminator model is compiled inside the definition itself. That is for training, we have a separate network that we will discuss later. We have a separate network, but the training of the discriminator network is actually done outside the training model, and that is the reason why we include the compile function inside the definition itself. So model.compile, and here loss is equal to binary cross entropy, not categorical cross entropy, because this is a two-class problem, and that is the reason why we include binary cross entropy as the loss function here. And optimizer is equal to OPT. OPT is already defined here. Or instead of that, you just specify this particular statement inside this. No problem. Matrix is equal to accuracy and return model. And this is the definition of the discriminator model. And what is the responsibility of the discriminator model? To identify whether the input image is a real image or a fake image, or whether the while supplied by the forger is real or fake. And that responsibility is actually taken by the discriminator model. And this is the first network and the second network, and that is the generator model. This is the second network. This is also very important, generator model. And DEF, define generator. Latent dimension. Latent dimension means the artificial ingredients. And the artificial ingredients are actually known as latent dimension in this particular case. Model is equal to sequential. And as a first step of the process for generating the image, the first step is the latent dimension. We have to convert this latent dimensions into a base image, I'm going to map this latent dimension in a base image of size 8 by 8, in a base image of size 8 by 8, and 128 such images are I'm going to consider here. That is, I just going to generate a batch of images, and these batches actually 128 actually represents the feature maps in this case. Okay, but here 128 8 by images. I'm going to map this latent dimension into 128 images of size 8 by 8 first. So actually for this mapping is actually done with the help of a neural network, and inside that neural network, to map that information, I have to include 128 into 8 by 8 nodes. So that is the reason why we consider n nodes is equal to 128 into 8 into 8. Okay, then model.add dense is a neural network. It's a hidden layer. N nodes. How many nodes? How many nodes are there in the hidden layer? 128 into 8 into 8. That many nodes. So the input dimension is latent dimension. This is the input layer, right? So this latent dimension. So for example, in the latent dimension, 100 elements are there, and these 100 noise values are passed to the 128 into 8 into 8 nodes of the hidden layer, and that is the information corresponding to this particular statement. Then in each node, how many nodes? 128 into 8 into 8 nodes are there in that hidden layer. How many in each node? The activation function is leaky ReLU with alpha is equal to 0.2. Okay, but here 100 input numbers are there. These numbers are mapped onto a hidden layer. Inside that hidden layer, 128 into 8 into 8, that much nodes are there. Okay, then as a result, from each neuron, we get one result. So 128 into 8 into 8 informations we can generate with the help of the activation function leaky ReLU. Okay, and for that you just remember the construct of that perceptron model. So a summation operator, then the values are given to the activation function, and here the activation function is leaky ReLU. Then leaky ReLU come up with a particular value. So how many values? How many nodes? 128 into 8 by 8. So 128 into 8 by 8 values are generated. Okay, and these generated values are next reshaped as an image. But here these 128 into 8 into 8 values generated by that particular hidden layer is now converted into 128 images of size 8 by 8. That means with the help of this reshape method, we can convert image information. And here, this reshape actually generates 128 images of size 8 by 8. So that means after executing this particular statement, we come up with 128 images of size 8 by 8. And 8 by 8, that is the base image. 128 such base images are there. That means 128 feature maps are there. Each feature map are of size 8 by 8. Then next task is to assemble this basic image 8 by image into 16 by 16, and our objective is to create a 32 by 32 image. So as a first step of the process, this base image is assembled to 16 by 16, and for that instead of convolutional 2D, we can make use of transpose convolution, and the method is convolution 2D transpose. Again, 128 feature maps, 128 feature maps, and the filter size is 4 by 4. That means for upsampling, actually here we can an upsampling operation is actually happen there, and for upsampling the operation we can make use of a 4 by 4 filter, and with strides 2 by 2, with strides 2 by 2, that is each convolution operation we can move 2 columns and 2 rows right and downwards. Okay, and that is the meaning of strides 2 comma 2, and padding is equal to same. That means after this operation we get the image same as with the input image, and here the input image is of size 8 by 8, and as a result we get 16 by 16. This 16 by 16 is generated because of this padding is equal to same, otherwise the size will reduce. Then this is an upsampling operation, and in our previous result downsampling is there. Convolution max pooling, after max pooling we get the downsampling. Okay, but here the information is upsampled. Now as a result of executing this particular statement together with this activation function, we come up with 128 images of size 16 by 16. Okay, then next our target is to create an image with size 32 by 32. Okay, and for that one more convolution transpose is to be applied there, and for that model dot add convolution 2D transpose 128 4 by 4, and you can change the number of filters here, and instead of 128 we can use 512 or 64, no problem for that. 4 by 4 strides 2 by 2, padding is equal to same, then model dot add leaky ReLU alpha is equal to 2. That is after executing these two statements our model come up with 128 feature maps of size 32 by 32. 32 by 32 by means that is the original feature size. So at this stage we get 128 images, 128 images or 128 feature maps, 128 feature maps of size 32 by 32. Each feature map of size 32 by 32. And from these 128 feature maps, we can generate our desired image with the help of another convolution operation, not convolution 2D. And for generating the image corresponding to the latent dimension, the last network, last layer is a convolution 2D image with 3 layers. Why 3 layers? And here I just considered color images. So in order to build the color image, how many layers we need? 3 layers we need. One layer corresponds to red, green, then blue. Okay, but here 3, and that is the color information, the depth information we need 3. Then in order to generate that image, a particular filter is used, and that filter is of size 7 by 7. Then instead of 7 by 7, okay, you can use 5 by 5. Okay, no problem for that. Convolution 2D 3, then 7 by 7. Activation is equal to tan h. Activation is equal to tan h. Tan h activation function is used because in the main program I am going to normalize the images by using the values ranges from -1 to 1. Instead of using 0 to 1, I normalize the pixel values from -1 to +1, and that is the reason why I just use the activation function tan h here. Tan h here, then padding is equal to same the written model. That means that is after executing this particular statement, this model come up with a color image of size 32 by 32. Color image of size 32 by 32, because I have to generate an image of size 32 by 32, and that is the reason why I just start from 8 by 8, then 16 by 16, then 32 by 32. Then after that, from this 128 feature maps, generates the image consisting of 3 layers. That is a color image. Okay, and this is these are the different statements to be included in the generator model. But there is no need of compiling this model inside this definition, because this model or the compiling or training of this particular model is actually done inside the training process, inside the training process. But discriminator we have to separately compile, because the training of that particular discriminator model is outside to this GAN model. That is the reason why we include that compilation process inside the definition itself in the case of discriminator. But in the case of generator model, there is no need of including that compilation process inside the definition. But this is the second network. Now we have to use the GAN model. We have to define the GAN model, because the real image generation is actually done with the help of the discriminator and the generator. So by combining the discriminator and generator, we can define the GAN model. For that we can make use of another user-defined function, DEF, define GAN. And what are the parameters there? Generator, comma, discriminator. Generator is already defined, discriminator is already defined. And make weights in the discriminator not trainable, because I already said this discriminator is trained outside to this particular model, outside to this particular model. That means there is no need of updating the weights inside it, inside this particular definition. So discriminator dot trainable is equal to false. That means inside this GAN model, the discriminator is not going to modify the weights. Only the weights associated with the generator will modify. So discriminator dot trainable is equal to false. Then as a first step of the process, we can connect the discriminator and generator together. And for that, in order to connect the generator and discriminator, we can define a sequential model. Then inside that sequential model, first of all, we can add the generator. So model dot add generator. Then after that, we can add the discriminator, and for that model dot add discriminator. Then this model can be compiled here. Inside this, we can compile, but that means we can implement the training inside this particular function. But during the training process, discriminator is not modified the weight, its weights. Modified because for that discriminator dot trainable is actually treated as false. So there is no weight modification inside this particular definition. Okay, but discriminator, the weight associated with the generator model is actually modified inside this particular definition. For that, we have to compile that model dot compile loss is equal to binary cross entropy, and optimizer is equal to OPT. Okay, then return model. Then here also binary cross entropy means actually the discriminator provides an information regarding whether the probability is high or not, and this information is passed to the generator model in order to modify the weights, and that type of an operation is there. So here the loss function used is in this particular combined model. Combined model means combining the generator and discriminator. We need a model, and inside that we use binary cross entropy loss function. Okay, and that is but these three different models are needed for implementing the GAN model. The three important models are needed for implementing the GAN. That is the discriminator, then the generator, then the combined GAN model. Okay, now we can load the data. For that, we have to initialize image rows, image columns, channels. This is a color image. So number of rows, number of columns, and channels 3. Image shape is equal to image rows, comma, image columns, comma, channels. That is because of the use of the color image, number of channels is 3. Then as a first step of the process, we have to load the CIFAR10 images. And for that, a user-defined function is used for loading the images and making necessary pre-processing operations. Then load data set, train x, comma, underscore, then underscore, because all the images contained in the CIFAR10 data set is now loaded into the TrainX, because this cannot be considered as a supervised machine learning process. And in the case of supervised machine learning process, we need the corresponding labels. But in this case, there is no need of preserving any labels or not, because here we create an image, and this image is compared with the real images. Okay, but here all the real images are now available in TrainX. So all the images, we need only the images. We need only the images. So we can load all the images contained in that particular CIFAR 10 into TrainX. Then again, expand to 3D example odd channels. Then again, we are going to process this architecture with the help of by using a lot of processors, array of processors. That means graphics processor unit, GPU models, or GPUs are used for processing this model. So here we provide the input as a batch, so that in a particular batch how many images we have to include, and that information, to store that information, we have to reshape the reshape that image data set TrainX with the help of the reshape function, TrainX dot reshape -1. To add a new channel, we can use this another functionality, -1 comma image rows comma image columns comma channels. But here initially we have for example 70,000 images are there, and instead of this -1, it replaces 70,000. All the images are of size 32 by 32 by 3, and that information, to get that information, we have to reshape. So that reshaped set of images are now available in X. So X can be considered as a 4-dimensional tensor here. Then convert from inputs to floats, and all the inputs we can convert into as floats. This is a typecasting operation. X is equal to X dot as type float 32, because initially we have pixel intensities ranges from 0 to 255. All the values are integers, and these integers can be converted into float. So X is equal to X dot as type float 32. Then scale from 0 to 255 to -1 to 1, as I already mentioned, and the because we already used tanh function there. And this is the reason for using the tanh function, because tanh function returns a value lies in between -1 to +1. And here all the filter values, so sorry, all the intensity values normally ranges from 0 to 255. It is now mapped onto -1 to +1. Okay, so for that we can, it's a normalizing operation. X is equal to X minus 127.5 divided by 127.5. This 127.5 is nothing but 255 divided by 2, return X. Okay, but here we load the images, we process, pre-process the images, and after pre-processing we return the image data set. Then now, next task is to select real samples. Because in order to train the train the discriminator model, we need the information regarding the real samples. We need the information regarding the fake samples. Then only the discriminator model is capable for identifying whether the supplied image is real or fake. And for that, first of all, we have to generate a batch of real images. So for generating that batch of real images, we use a user-defined function, def generate real samples, dataset, n samples. N samples, dataset is the original dataset. N samples, number of samples, how many samples we have to select from that original dataset to create real samples. And choose random instances. Ix is equal to rand int 0 dataset dot shape of 0 comma n samples, and this is actually generates a one-dimensional array. And the content of that array actually ranges from 0 to dataset dot shape of 0. Dataset dot shape of 0 means how many images are there in the dataset. And from this interval, it selects n samples randomly. And these samples or index values are now available in IX. Then based on those index values, we can select the corresponding images, and these images are stored in X. That means with the help of this particular these two statements, we can generate a batch of real images, and that batch contains how many images? N samples images. Then after generating, to designate these images are real images, we can create a label that is ones of n samples comma 1. That means this is the label corresponding to the images contained in X. If X contains 100 images, if n samples is equal to 100, normally X contains 100 images. And all these images have a label of 1. 1 means all these images are real images, because these images are generated from the real samples, and after that return X comma Y. That means with the help of the generate real samples, we can generate a batch of real images, batch of random batch of real images from the data set, and the corresponding label is 1. That means to designate it as real samples or real images. Then next we have to generate a batch of fake images. The real images we already generated from the real examples. Next task is to generate a batch of fake images. Then only we can train the discriminator to identify whether the image is a real or whether the image is a fake image. And for that, we first define a user-defined function, generate latent points, and latent dimension, comma, number of samples. Number of samples is same as with the above function, user-defined function. Latent dimension, as I said, that is the noise values. That is the artificial ingredients, as I said. So for that, X input is equal to random number, latent dimension into n samples. But here n samples are there. So latent dimension, for example, latent dimension is a 100 dimensional array, 1-dimensional array. So latent dimension into n samples, a matrix is created. There with latent dimension n samples, and all the entries of that matrix are initialized with some random numbers. That means noise values. Then after that, reshape this matrix into a batch of inputs for the network. That means here X input is equal to X input dot reshape n samples comma latent dimension. And then but here latent dimension means 100. N samples means how many images we have to create from that latent dimension. So here, for example, n samples is equal to 100. Then 100 latent dimensions. 100, that means 100 images we are going to create from this latent dimension, and for that we have to reshape this X input into this particular format. That is n samples comma latent dimension. Each latent dimension corresponds to a particular image. How many such images we are going to create? N samples images, and after that we return that X input. That is the latent dimension for creating fake images. Then using the generator function, create the fake images. That is the next task. And for that we can make use of generate fake samples. Generator comma and generate fake samples in that user-defined function. What are the parameters used? Generator network, latent dimension, the dimension of the noise values, and how many images we have to generate. These three informations we have to put there. Then generate points in the latent space. First of all, we have to generate points for the latent space, and for that our previous user-defined function we can call here generate latent points with the parameters latent dimension comma number of samples. So this is the output there, X input with a reshaped, that is n samples comma latent dimension. That is a basic information to generate n samples images, and for that we need the noise values of latent dimension. 100 latent dimensions are there, and such how many images we are going to create? N samples. Then after generating that, with the help of this generator network, we can generate the images. We can generate the images, and for that we can make use of a dedicated method, and that method is known as predict. Okay, predict X input. Predict X input means this is the X input. Okay, and that is the noise values. A collection of noise values are there. And with the help of these noise values, how many images we can create? N samples images. So, and in order to generate that N samples of images, we can use this generator model together with the predict method. Together with the predict method, inside that predict method, the parameter is X input. And when we provide that X input in the predict method of generator, then this much images are generated, N samples images are generated, and those images are now available in X. And so X now contains all the generated images. How many generated images? N samples generated images. And these images are fake images. And in order to designate these images are fake images, we can create a label Y, zeros of N samples comma 1, N samples images. Then all the images are of all this. That is a one-dimensional array, and all the locations are initialized with zeros. That means all the locations, Y locations contain zeros. That means all the images are of fake images. And these images and the corresponding labels are returned. But in the case of real images, images are created from the data set, and label it as all the images are real images. Therefore, the label is 1 in all those cases. Then in this case, these images are generated by the generator. So the images are fake images. So the label is 0 for all the different entries. Okay, and these fake images are returned here. Then next, after generating the real images and after generating the fake images, we can train our GAN model. And for that, we can define a user-defined function, or we can create a user-defined function training. That is, the parameters are G model, generator model, D model, that is the discriminator model, GAN model, that is the combined model, data set, latent dimension, how many noise values, number of epochs, how many times we have to iterate the process, and in this example, I just used 5, only 5 epochs, and number of batch, that is 128. So that is 128 batches of images are considered in each iteration. So batch per epoch is equal to int of data set dot shape of 0 divided by n batch per epoch. That is, in each epoch, how many batches we have to handle. We have to handle, and that is that can be computed from batch per epoch is equal to int of dataset dot shape of 0 divided by n batch. Half batch is equal to int of n batch divided by 2. Half batch is equal to int of n batch divided by 2. And manually, we can enumerate various epochs, and we are going to train the model in each epoch, and within each epoch, in each batch, we are going to train the model. And for that, we can make use of 2 for loops. For I is equal to, for I in range n epochs, for j in range batch per epoch. In each epoch, different batches are there. If you consider a particular batch, for that, get randomly selected real samples first. And for that, we can make use of generate real samples. Generate real samples we already defined. Data set half batch. Half batch means here I am going to construct 128 images. 128 images. 128 in that 128 images, 64 are of real and 64 are of fake. That type of generation is applied here. X real comma y real is equal to generate real samples from data set comma half batch. Half batch means 64. So 64 real images are taken from the data set, and these images are stored in X real, and the corresponding label. Corresponding label is 1. All the labels are 1. So that is the outcome of this particular statement. Then after generating the real samples, I am going to train the discriminator model with the help of the real samples to get the knowledge regarding the real samples. And for that, we can make use of D model, that is the discriminator model. Dot train on batch, dot fit method is there. That is the normal method we are used for training the process, training the input data. But here I'm going to use a train on batch, because and here the training is actually happening inside the model as a batch, and that is the reason. And you just understand the difference between dot fit and the train on batch. Both are used for training. Okay, but here I'm going to use train on batch with parameters X real comma Y real, X real comma Y real. Now X real contains 64 images and the corresponding labels. 1 labels are there, and with the help of this data set, we can train the discriminator model, so that the discriminator model will get an information regarding how the real images will looks like. And the corresponding loss we can store in the DLOS one, that is a user defined memory location. In that memory location, we can store the corresponding loss of the D model. And for this is for status of display, whether the in order to understand the status of the development of the model. That loss just store in this DLOS one. But here the model is the discriminator model is trained with the help of the real data. The next task is train the discriminator model with the fake data. And for that, first of all, we have to create the fake samples, generate fake samples. This definition is already incorporated in our model. Generate fake samples with parameters G model, because G model is needed for generating the generator model is needed for generating the fake samples, latent dimension and half batch. So here, with the help of this generate fake samples, with the help of the generator model, we can generate 64 images from the latent dimension, and all these images are of fake. Okay, but here generate fake samples, and for that this method or this user defined function we can call here. Then after generating the fake images, next step is to train the discriminator model with the help of the fake samples. Okay, and for that, as in the case of real samples, we can use D model dot train on batch X fake comma Y fake. Okay, but here in the previous statements, we generate one batch of real images, train, and that batch actually contains 64 images. Okay, and with the help of those 64 images, I trained the discriminator model. Okay, next I generate 64 images of fake images, and trained the discriminator model with the help of these fake images. Normally, the discriminator model is trained with a batch of 128 images. With a batch of 128 images, that means from among these 128 images, 64 are real and 64 are fake. Okay, so the corresponding loss is now available in D loss 2, but D loss 2 corresponds to the loss corresponding to the fake image. The next task is generate the images. A batch of images are generated, and after generating those images, they are given to the model, and this model will tell you whether the generated image is real or fake. And for that, prepare points in the latent space as input for the generator. But here xgan is equal to generate latent points latent dimension comma n batch, and this generate latent points. I already explained. This is a base information for generating the images, n batch images, and that is now available in XGAN. Then this XGAN is now we are going to generate fake images. And XGAN now we are going to generate fake images and as a label, and this YGAN, inside the YGAN we use once that is n batch comma 1. And why we use YGAN is equal to once n batch comma 1? Actually YGAN represents the label of XGAN. By XGAN means we are going to generate some images using generator. And this is actually the duty of the forger. Generate those images, and the forger tells the shop owner that all these generated images are real images, and this is the YGAN is equal to once n batch comma 1, and that is here this is the forger claim that the generated images are real images. Then next is update the generator via the discriminator error, and we are going to improve the performance of the generator model via the discriminator. And for that we are going to use GAN model dot train on batch XGAN comma YGAN, that means and here I am going to use the basic information regarding the generation of the new images, that is XGAN, together with the claim, and the claim is nothing but the generated images are real images. These two informations are provided to the GAN model. So what is the responsibility of the GAN model? This information is first provided to the generator, and this generator generates the images, and the generated images are given to the discriminator, and discriminator come up with a probability value, and this probability value tells whether the image is real or not. And this if the probability value is too low, that information is given to the generator. Improves the performance. Again the image is given to the discriminator, and this process is continued, and for that that is the responsibility of the GAN model. So we can train that GAN model with the help of the generated images. So here we can generate a batch of images with the help of this GAN model, and this process is continued to optimize or to generate a batch of real images. Okay, but here first discriminator, train the discriminator with real images, train the discriminator with fake images. Next is generate a batch of images using the generator, and this image is passed to the GAN model for creating the realistic images. And to understand the progress of that particular development process, we can print the lows and all, and after that we can save the model with a name generator 1.h5. After completing the epochs and after completing all the two different for loops, our model is come up with our GAN model is come up with an efficient model for generating the images, and this is the main program. Latent dimension is equal to 100. Create discriminator is equal to define discriminator, that is already there. Create generator is equal to define generator with parameter latent dimension, right? Noise, and there is a forger. Create GAN, define GAN, generator comma discriminator. For improving the performance of the generator model, we have to use this GAN model, that is GAN model, and load the image data, then train that model, train generator, discriminator, GAN model, dataset, latent dimension. After training, we get this type of information. Then these are only five epochs are there. but 5 epochs, that is not sufficient to generate a realistic image. And after that, this model can be used for generating our new images, and for that we can use a facility known as load model. A model is already saved in a particular file, and this particular statement that can be used for display the generated images. Okay. Here for generating the image, first we can load the model. Now the model is available in model. We can generate the latent points or the here 100 images of 100 latent points are used for. That is in a single stretch we can create 100 images, and for generating 100 images, how many latent dimensions or noise values we need? 100 noise values for each image. Then generate images, x is equal to model dot, and what is model? GAN model. Model dot predict latent points, and this latent points are given to this particular model together with predict method. We can generate 100 images. And in this particular example, to view the first 10 images of the 100 generated images, we can make use of show plot x comma 10, and it will print an image like this, because this image is not clear because I just used only 5 epochs. And instead of that, if you use 200 or 500 epochs, realistic images can be automatically generated using this GAN model. And that is with this particular presentation. And thank you for patiently hearing my class and the great support given to me. Thank you very much.